we are talking about our follow-up segment. In our previous live session, I started talking about leadership, and I explained who a leader was. I clearly stated that a leader is someone who knows the way, who sees the way, and goes the way. A leader is someone that empowers his or her subordinate to become better in the society. A leader is someone who makes sure that his workers or employees, their capacity, their dream becomes a reality. A leader is someone who goes ahead and paves the way for others. And I spoke about types of leaders. I said we have charismatic leaders, we have democratic leaders, we have autocratic leaders, we have transformational leaders, and transactional leaders. You know, in a world in which we live, we have different types of leaders, and these leaders perform different duties, different roles, okay? And I equally spoke about qualities of a good leader. I said, for example, a good leader has integrity, a good leader must be open-minded, a good leader must read, because, you know, leaders, great leaders are readers. We must read, we must believe, we must be open-minded, leaders must work hard. And today I'll be talking about principles of leadership. Principles of leadership. We all are living in a world that is innovated. The world is changing every day. Technology is advancing every day. We equally need to change the way we do things. Our mindset, our psyche is supposed to change. Our activities are supposed to change, because we are all leaders. All of you listening to me, you might be thinking that you are not a leader, but today I wish to say that we all are leaders. Many people look up to us. You might not know that they are looking up to you, but the day you fall, that is the day you realize that you had so many people looking up to you. So in our different communities, in our small corners, we need to inculcate this leadership precept, because no one knows tomorrow. You might have a company, you think the company is small and you're acting anyhow. You might have an organization and you are neglecting so many things because you think the organization is not very big. But as a leader, you are standard. You need to show the way. You need to be the example, because what you do, that is exactly what your workers will do. So you set the pace for them to move ahead. So today our topic is principles of leadership. What are the precepts? What are the canons of leadership? When I talk about principles, I talk about fundamental truth. I talk about precepts and canons that govern an organization or that govern an individual. Those are precepts. In life, there are so many principles we have. We have governmental principles. We have organizational principles. Even at home, we have our family principles. In a country or in a home where there are not principles, there is disorder. A principled individual is an organized and disciplined person. So we need to consider all these things. So we must have these fundamental rules to guide our activities, to guide our leadership rules. Principles like they are a system, it's a system of belief. As an individual, let's say some people say my principle is that I must read 2 pages of books every day. It's your lifestyle. Reading has become part of you. It's a principle which you have given yourself, and it has become a habit. We need this principle to be successful in life. So how can we cultivate principles? How can we cultivate these principles, this precept, these canons to be efficient and effective leaders? It is not all about leading, but leading effectively and efficiently. Okay? Thank you for those who are just coming online. I appreciate you. And Miss B is talking about leadership principles. Okay, we started a session in our former live video. I spoke about leadership, and today I am continuing from where I ended, and I'm talking about leadership principles. And I said principles are fundamental truth. They are rules and regulations that govern an organization or govern an individual. Okay, thank you. So how can we cultivate precept? How can we have canons? Firstly, we need to be disciplined. Discipline, as a leader, we need to be disciplined. A disciplined person is an organized person and is somebody who knows the way and the direction. So for us to cultivate these principles in life, we need to be disciplined. We need to be consistent. Consistency is the key. The more consistent you are, the more effective and efficient and productive you become, because you learn how to do things in different ways and you become innovative. So consistency is the key. We need to be consistent. We need to be disciplined. We need to be consistent. And we need to be good readers. As a leader, we all have to read because we have knowledge in those books. The more you read, you have a broad mindset, you have a broad perspective about so many things happening in the world and about your personal development. You are not reading for people. As a leader, you need to read. You need to inculcate the habit of reading in order for you to empower your organization, in order for you to create impact in your society, and in order for you to create impact in your own life and destiny. So we need to read. Good leaders are readers. Most of the secrets we are looking for today are in books. A great leader is supposed to be open-minded, stand to be corrected, be open-minded, be receptive to receive new ideas. As a leader, you have to be open-minded. People will give you suggestions. Your colleagues will give you suggestions. Your subordinates will give you suggestions. Do not say no. You need to listen to them. You need to be open-minded to hear when they speak, in order for you to know what step to take, what to do. Many hands do work light. You can't stand it alone. You need people. In this journey of life, we need people. In as much as we are going ahead, we are succeeding, we need people. Okay? We need people. As a great leader, we need to be open-minded. Okay, now I'm a content creator. At times I receive comments from my students and fans and followers. I am open-minded to listen because I want to be effective and efficient, because I want to be perfect. A great leader must be keen to listen to others and to accept corrections. So how can we cultivate these principles? We need to think before we speak. Most of the times, some people speak before thinking. The use of language at times creates a lot of conflict. As a leader, before you speak or before you utter a word, you must think. How does it sound in the ear? If I say this, how will they feel? Is it bad? Is it good? You must think. What you are doing, is it perfect? Is it right? Before you take decisions, you need to think before you speak. Before you agree to something, you need to have time to yourself, quality time to think. Because at times, there are some things we say, we can't take them back. Words are powerful. If you use words wrongly, you can hurt people and you leave them with a scar. So in life, generally, apart from leadership, before you speak, we have to think. This thing, if I say it, will it be offensive? How will she feel? Will she feel bad? So you think, you put yourself in the shoe of that person. Okay? You put yourself in the shoe of that person. If I say this, if I'm the one, how will I feel? Great leaders are thinkers. We need to think. Don't disrespect a principle in life, no matter how small it may seem. This quote is for everybody. Do not disrespect a principle, no matter how small it may seem. It must be respected. That is how discipline begins. At school, if there are principles, we must respect them. Governmental principles, we must respect them. Organizational principles, we must respect them. Institutional principles, we must respect them. No matter how tiny or minute a principle is, we are not supposed to disrespect that principle. Most of the times in life, we become neglectful. And the things that are very important to us, we neglect them. That is not how it is supposed to be. We need to value the small things we have in order for us to have bigger things. If you can't value the small things you have today, even when the bigger ones are given to you, you won't be able to handle them. A man without principle is like a tree with no leaves. A man without principle is like a tree with no leaves. We all need principles. We need principles in life. How do you carry on with your day-to-day activities if you don't have principles guiding you? Do you just wake up in the morning, you have a shower, and you go out to start working? You need to have a plan. You need to have a principle. You need to have a blueprint of your activities, of your life. Some of us want to achieve. We want to be great in life, but we don't have any principle that is guiding us. So how are we going to be great? We can't be great if we don't have this principle. We can't be effective if we don't have principles. We can't create impact in our society, in the world in which we live today, if we don't have principles. A man without principle is like a tree with no leaves. Just imagine there's a tree with no leaves. It's useless. Any tree with no leaf is useless. It is not worth. And just imagine you are living a life, you don't have any rule, you don't have any consideration, you don't have anything guiding you. What are you doing? So we must have principles. We are not supposed to be trees with no leaves. We must bear fruit. We must have leaves. We must create impact in our society, in our communities, anywhere we are. We must leave a landmark. We must leave a landmark so that when you leave that place, people will be like, wow, we had somebody like this. She was perfect. She was good. We need to change the world. We need to change our mind. Before we change the world, our minds are supposed to be transformed, because change begins from you and I. Before I change my community, I need to change myself. I need to have principles guiding me. As a leader, you must have principles. A man with no principle is like a tree with no leaves. Some people always say, oh, this is my classmate, we were in school together. Today, he or she is more successful. I'm still in the same position. I don't have a good job. Life is so difficult for me. I don't know what to do. And I am working hard. It's not all about working hard, but working smartly. So how can you work smart as a leader? You need to have principles guiding your activities, guiding your day-to-day activities. Those principles are guidelines which are fundamental to you and I. Today I'm live on YouTube because I am principled. I wrote it there that 2 p.m. I'm going to be live on YouTube, because that is how life is. As leaders, we need to take the bold step. At times we feel tired. At times we feel exhausted. At times we feel heavy. At times we feel weary. But there are people out there who need the knowledge that we have. And if you keep that knowledge, how will their lives be transformed? Thank you so much, Esther. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you for following. In case you have any contribution or question, you can always write on the chat box. Thank you. Today, I want to advise each and every one of us that always stand on your principle. even if you are standing alone. We need to be steadfast. Even if you're standing alone, it's okay, but stand on your principle. Principles govern our lives, govern our activities. If your principle is that you need to finish, in fact, I used to say your pie chart is supposed to be equal. You have your leisure time, you have your work time, you have your study time. If it is not your leisure time, it's your study time or work time, you need to stick to it. Always stand on your principle, according to John Adams. John Adams says, always stand on your principles. Even if you are standing alone, it's okay. In life, at times, you need to go alone and show the way for others. You must not wait for people to push you. You need to be determined. You need to go alone. So today, as a leadership course, we need to know that as great leaders, we need to stick to our principles. We need to abide to them, even if we stand alone. If you don't stick to your principles, don't expect your subordinate to stick to it. Don't expect your employees or workers or collaborators to stick to it. So you need to be a standard. Show the examples for them to lead. Now, let's talk about principles of leadership. What are the principles of leadership? In an organization or in a house where there are no principles, there is disorder, mismanagement of resources, mismanagement of funds, mismanagement of workers. So we need these principles. Being an amazing leader doesn't just happen overnight, okay? Being an amazing leader entails hard work. You must work hard to achieve your expected goals and outcome. It takes a lot of work and effort for people to develop their leadership skills. It takes a lot of work and effort for people to develop their leadership skills. You need to work on yourself, work on your organization, work on your abilities, work on your potentials. That is how it is supposed to be. Okay? Work on yourself, work on your personality, work on your weakness. Like in the previous lesson, I said that as a leader, you need to identify your strengths and weaknesses. And once you identify your weaknesses, work on that weaknesses. Okay? Empower yourself to become better. And once you identify your strength, keep accelerating, keep amplifying your strategies to become perfect. Your weaknesses are just there, they are just challenges. You work on them. If you see that you are not disciplined, if you see that you don't stick to time, just be disciplined. Try. Put a lot of effort. And by the time you realize, you are good to go. So the first principle of leadership is admit your mistakes. To err is human. Most leaders are always correct. They think that they are always correct. In a board meeting or in a presentation, most of the times, they don't want to admit their fault. Admitting your mistake doesn't mean you are weak. It doesn't mean you're feeble. It's just the right thing to do. Okay? You must not always try to prove that you are vigorous as a leader. When you make mistakes, admit them. No one knows everything. At times you are making that mistake probably because of tiredness or probably because something happened which was not expected. Admit it. You're a leader. Your subordinates are looking up to you. Your workers are looking up to you. When you admit that mistake, they look at you, they say, wow, our boss is a real leader. He was able to admit his mistakes and he even apologized. You are teaching them to equally admit their mistakes. You don't need to hide or cover it. It's nothing. So as a leader, the first principle is admit your mistake. Secondly, as a good leader, we must be a great listener. It's not all about talking and speaking. One precept of an effective leader is seek to understand before you are understood. Seek to understand before you're understood. Be a great listener. Be open-minded. While your workers are talking to you, while your collaborators are talking to you or your partners, just listen. Just listen to them. You must not overshadow them with your voice, or you must not prove your intellectuality or your superiority. Just listen to them. Like democratic leaders. Democratic leaders, they have integrity. They're open-minded. They are good listeners. They are not autocratic. Autocratic leader, they don't listen. They expect their subordinates to do everything as said. They expect their subordinate to just do what they have been assigned to do, and they don't listen to their subordinate. So today, let us put on the clothes of a democratic leader. Let us be good listeners as leaders. To be great, you must be patient, to listen to others, to listen to advice, to listen, to contributions given to you. At times, even comment. We have positive and negative comments. At times, people will give you negative comments, but as a leader, you must listen. While listening, you are learning something new. Learning never ends. We learn every day. While listening, you are learning something new. Again, one of the principles of a great leader is you need to be innovative. When we talk about innovative, we talk about change. We talk about being open-minded. We talk about advancement. We talk about productivity. Innovation begins in the psyche. Everything in life begins in the mind. You need to be updated. As a leader, you need to adapt to the new ways of doing things. You need to stop the archaic ways. Some people don't want to learn. Some people have this self-sufficiency. It's okay. I know how to do it this way. It doesn't matter. I mustn't learn how to do it the other way. Anyways, it's all the same. No. As a leader, you need to meet up to standard of the world. You need to be innovated. You need to be updated. You need to upgrade. And how can you upgrade? By reading. You need to upgrade by reading. You need to be current. You need to follow up current issues. We need to be updated. We cannot keep doing things in a particular old manner. We do things in a reform, in a new way, in a reform manner, in a transformative way. You need to be unpredictable as a leader. You have an organization, or let's say you have a school, or you have a business. You need to innovate your strategies. You need to change your strategies. You need to use the eclectic method for you to attract customers. You need to create value. Your customers need to see the value in your business. And how will they see that value? Okay, you need to use modern strategies to capture them. So today, as a leader, we need to be innovative. Innovative, no matter where you are as a leader. I'm sorry, I had an incoming call. We need to be innovative. We need to be open-minded. We need to be unpredictable. We need to do things in a different and unique manner to make us stand out in our communities. Some people always ask, wow, she's different. I like the way she does her things. She's unique. Okay? How can you be unique? You can only be unique when you read and you're innovated. That is where your productivity is seen by the world. Again, one of the principles of leadership is communication. We need to communicate. Communication is the key to everything. You need to speak. You need to talk. You need to create relationship, public relation. You have an organization. You're a leader. You're a startup business person. You need to meet people of your fields. For example, I am a content creator. I am a writer. I've written my first book. I had to discuss with other people. Okay, people from my field and even those not in my area of study. Communication is very important. Communication is the hallmark of a good leadership skill. Communication is the hallmark of a good leadership skill. We must communicate. When we communicate, There's exchange of ideas, exchange of so many things, wisdom and knowledge, exchange of strategies and techniques on how to do things in a modernized manner. So we must communicate. As a leader, you must communicate your feelings, your ideas to your workers. You have a business, you must communicate with them. Okay, I want us to do this in order for us to experience an increase in sales. I want us to employ these strategies. I want us to use this particular good for advert because I think that it's more better. Communicate your ideas. Some leaders don't communicate and they are always furious. They don't express themselves. They are neither happy nor sad, and they are so unpredictable clients. They become highly unproductive. So today, let us inculcate the habit of communication. Communication is the key. Let's say, for example, in our day-to-day life, you have a problem. If you don't say it to somebody or you need help, how will they know? How will they help you? You need to communicate. Good leaders communicate. Communication is a hallmark to a good leadership skill. If you need help and you don't tell me, how do you expect me to know? If you don't communicate, how will I know? I'm not a magician to know that you have this issue or you need help. So communication is the key. Again, one of the leadership principles is that as leaders, we must continuously brush up our leadership skills. We must brush up our leadership skills. Because you're a leader, don't fold your arms and you sit, you say you have nothing to do. Practice make perfect. Yeah. You might not be very good in your first presentation. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Okay? Winners never quit and quitters never win. We need to brush up our skills continuously. We need to keep practicing to become perfect. Practice make perfect. They used to say proper presentation will help you to be effective. And they used to say proper preparation prevent poor performance. If you prepare perfectly, your performance will be perfect because you were ready. You plan. So as a leader, we must brush up our skill. Don't just sit and say, oh, it's okay. I'm good here. It's okay for me. I can handle it. I don't need him to help me. I don't need to learn anything new. No. Brush up your skills to meet up standard, to accomplish a mission of that organization or business. You need to be unpredictable, like a chameleon as a leader. Again, one of the principles of leadership is create a common value. Create a common value. We must create a common value. You know, most of the times we have organizations or companies whereby we have people of different cultural diversity, different nationality, different language, everything is different. But we must have a common core value, a value that binds us together, that keeps us abound, that is respected by all workers. That is how it is supposed to be. The world is evolving and some people are really skillful. And when you see a skillful person, you need them in your organization. Okay? And when you see people of different backgrounds, different continents coming together, what do? You create a common core value. In this organization, this is what we do. This is how things are run. This is how things are organized. It's perfect. We understand each other. We know what to do. Life is sweet. Life is smooth. Communication is fluent. There is no problem because we have a common goal. We have a common objective. Okay? We have a mission of our company, and that is our focal point. You might have a small organization or a small business. Don't feel bad. Keep working hard. Keep using it. Create your principles. Have a mission. Have an aim. Have a core value that brings people together. Another principle of great leadership is avoid bias. Avoid favoritism. A good leader, you don't say, this is my favorite. No way. Some people say, this is my favorite. This, no way. You know, as a teacher, there was a day, one of my students asked me, Miss, I'm your favorite teacher, right? I'm your favorite student, right? As a leader, no one is supposed to be a favorite. Leaders don't have favorite. There's equality. Okay, we need to be equal. If there is no equality and equity, problems will arise. And these are things which we are trying to stop. We don't need problems in our organizations. We don't need problems at our job site, in our companies, in our countries. We don't need problems. So there is nothing like favoritism, no tribalism. Okay? We are open-minded. Leaders have no favorites. Leaders lead by examples. You train people to become better, to become the best. That is how life is supposed to be. And I pity those leaders that some leaders keep telling people, you are my favorite, you are my best. You make them to be lazy. You make them to be lazy. I know leaders need motivations. You need to motivate your workers, subordinates. Some of them need internal or external motivations. There are so many verbal motivation that you can give your workers or employees. Job well done. I appreciate you. We are delighted. At times, you can even choose to treat the entire organization, okay, as a result of appreciation. So there are many ways to appreciate your workers or to motivate them without mentioning the fact that you are my favorite. Great leaders have no favorite. That is why I clearly explained that one of the principles of a great leader is communication. We need to know how to communicate. If you don't communicate adequately and properly, you cause a lot of problems in your organization. Again, a great leader must be willing to accept change. You must change the way you do things. You must change and update your organization. You must change and update your skill. Change is paramount. In the society in which we live, we need change. We cannot be static. No man is an island. At times, you can travel to other countries, to other organizations, to see how things are done. Don't copy their stuff. Don't plagiarize. No. You are just seeing it. If there's something you can adapt, if there's something you can learn, you learn. That is how life is. Great leaders are continual learners. You learn continuously. You learn non-stop. You keep learning and learning and learning and learning. Every day we learn. Every day we learn something new. I keep telling people, at least in a day, have a recap about your activity. Have a recap about your life. Did I learn anything new today? You must learn to learn something new. Every day, daily. Have an account. Give yourself an account. Okay, the day is gone. What did I achieve today? What was my objective? Did I achieve anything? What did I do? We need to have all this in mind. What did I achieve? Okay, you do some analysis. Okay, I did this, I was supposed to do that, but this. That is how great leaders think. Again, great leaders, one of their principles is they never give up. It doesn't matter how hard it is. It doesn't matter how exhaustive it may be. They never give up. Great leaders have exousia. They have power. They are optimistic in nature. You don't have to give up. You need to stand firm. So today, my advice for us all is, we don't have to give up. We don't have to be like trees with no leaves. Even if you are standing alone, let us stand on our principles of life. If it is your leisure time, hang out. If it is your work or study time, as a leader, if you receive a call from a friend to hang out, back out. Decline. Not all opportunities are opportunities. As a great leader, you need to think out of the box. Think out of the box. Decide. What should I do? Which decision should I take? Is this good for my personal well-being? Is this good for my health? Is it good for my organization? And again, as a good leader, you must be healthy. You must cultivate a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, You don't have to be sick. You need to eat healthy. You need to do exercises. You need to be healthy. You need to be strong. You need to be fit to run your organization. When I talk about leadership, it's not all about business. It's not all about academics. It's globally. The concept leadership is global, and it can be streamlined to so many contexts. It can be streamlined to education, to governmental, to family, and more. As a leader, you need to be healthy. You don't need to eat anyhow. You need to eat healthily. You need to do exercises. You need to warm up. Because you are a standard. People are looking up to you. What if you fall ill? What if you become sick? And you cannot control your organization or your activities anymore? What happens? Especially in the case where there is no continuity, like a sole proprietor, you know. This is one disadvantage of a sole proprietor. In terms of debt, there is no continuity because he's alone. The sole proprietor manages his or her business alone, enjoys the profit alone, and at the end of the day, in terms of debt, this disadvantage, there is no continuity. So as a leader, we must, as a leader, we must be open-minded. We must be healthy. As a leader, we must work as a team. Team spirit. Team spirit is very important. We must work as a team. We must empower each other. Don't say, no, I'll do it alone. You have to work as a team. Many hands do light work. Work as a team. Come up with ideas. Come up with strategies. Help each other. Empower each other intellectually, financially, in all aspects. Team spirit is a key in any organization whereby there is no cooperation. That organization cannot stand. You must cooperate with your team members. You must cooperate with your organization. Share ideas, share successes, share everything together. When you work as a team, when you collaborate, you succeed as a team. The success is not just for you, nor the organization. It's for everybody. Most of the times, people are egoistic. People are selfish. I will not work with you. I am doing this myself. No. Great leaders work as a team to empower each other, to accomplish their goal, and to make their dreams and visions become a reality. Okay? And lastly, as a leader, you must make everyone feel comfortable. Everyone must feel significant. In your organization, don't make some people to feel downgraded or not useful. Importance should be regarded to everybody. Everybody needs to be valuable to you. No matter their positions, no matter their skills, you need to help them. Everyone is supposed to be important as a leader. In your organization, everybody is important. Their roles are useful. It doesn't matter what they do. Help them, empower them. Those who need to understand more about your business or your company, have free sessions where you teach them. You need to be teachable. You need to be teachable. You teach them, okay? You educate them so that there will be equilibrium. No one is important than the other. In some organizations today, some people are more important than others, and the other employees are aware. These are the things that brings disunity in an organization. So as a leader, no one is very important than the other. There's equality. Where you see that there's a problem, there's a weakness with your workers, help them to be perfect. And lastly, as a leader, lead by an example, because you are the ultimate leader and they are looking up to you. You need to have the ultimate principle. You need to abide to the principles, and you need to live by the principles. You don't need to boycott your principles. Lead by an example. They look at you, they know that you are upright, automatically they become upright. Thank you so much for listening. Miss B was with you. I'm happy. If you have any question, If you have any contribution, you can write in the comment box. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for the messages. Thank you for everything. Miss B have written a book. It's on Amazon, The Golden Night of Horror. Some of you don't yet know about the book. With time, I'll be talking about the book. And with time, I'm going to launch the book or equally put the book on my YouTube channel and other social media channel. The book is in French and in English. It's called The Golden Night of Horror. Thank you so much for listening. I had some viewers. If you have any comment, if you have any contribution, you can like. Please, you can follow Miss B on TikTok, English Express, Instagram, English Express, Facebook, English Express. Encourage this vision. Encourage Miss B. Encourage Miss B. Everything in life we pay a price. But today, before I end the meeting, have it in mind that great leaders never give up. Never give up in your dream. Never give up in your ambitions. Never give up to accomplish your vision or your goal. Write them down in a piece of paper. Write them boldly in your iPad or in the paper. And one day, you're going to accomplish it. Thank you so much. Hope you apply all these principles of leadership in your day-to-day activities. Stay tuned for our next live session on Friday. On Friday, I'll be talking about 7 habits of highly effective people. If you want to be highly effective, you need to be on Friday. Friday, same time, 2 p.m., I'll be talking about 7 habits of highly effective people. If you want to be highly effective, if you want to be perfect, as a perfect leader, you need to be there on Friday. Thank you and bye.